All right, so we have now completed, I would say, the chapter of prospectus. Chapter 3, private placement, is also completed, so I don't want to go much in that. Let's come to this share capital and debentures. So, share capital first. As far as the term share capital of the chapter is concerned, we have three topics to learn over there. Three topics to learn over there. Topic number one, basic concepts. All right. Topic number two, transfer and transmission. And topic number three, what we have, it is the allotment of shares. Allotment of shares. ये तीन बातें हैं. सेक्शन नंबर सबसे पहले कैटेगराइज कर लेते हैं यहाँ पे. सॉरी. Basic concepts. Look, basic concepts are starting from section 43 till it will go 55. Starting from, I would say, 43 to 55. But that is the first part of the basic concept. 43 to 55. 56 till 59, it is transfer and transmission. And again, 62, I would say 70, 60 to 70, coming to the basic concepts. And as you know, guys, 39 to 42, these are covered up under the allotment of shares. So yes, I can say a bit lengthy, थोड़ा lengthy है, लेकिन कई सारे concepts at a time we have to go. ठीक है? Let's begin with the story before I go to the provisions and all that. Share capital. So if I ask you the question that what are the types of share capital in the company, or what are the types of shares? So we have the two answers. Like the first one, what we have, it is equity shares, right? And another one, what we have, it is the preference shares. ये दो हमारे पास है. Equity shares and second क्या है? Preference shares. Point is, what are the types of preference shares? Then you have some answers like, cumulative versus non-cumulative, redeemable versus non-redeemable. After then, convertible versus non-convertible. Yeah, participating, and so on, right? But let me tell you one thing, which all these are not mentioned in the law. If I tell you explain the cumulative preference shares according to the law, कोई आंसर नहीं होता. क्योंकि if you see guys, preference share की अगर मैं बात करूँ तो लॉ में एक ही क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. Procedure to issue preference shares. That's all. देखो section 55 come to ये रहा. No definition, nothing. So cumulative, non-cumulative, participating, non-participating, they do not depend on the law, but they depends upon the contract. And that's the reason it's possible by studying the contractual terms, someone can come to know that there will be participating, cumulative, and redeemable preference shares together. Possible or not, that one preference share may contain all these qualities. So at the same time it is participating, at the same time it is cumulative, at the same time it is redeemable. Okay, but the question becomes more interesting when I say what are the types of equity shares? अब बताओ बेटा क्या आंसर आएगी? हाँ, ये नहीं पढ़ा होगा. Types of equity shares. Okay. Of course, types are there, but in the terms of the votes. So right down, guys, we have the three types in the equity shares. Type number one, equity shares with normal voting rights. Equity shares with differential voting rights. And the last one is very shocking, equity shares without voting rights. Equity shares without. All right. Now, in India, in Companies Act 2013, it is allowed these three. What do you mean by normal voting right? Normal voting rights means one share is equal to is equal to I would say one vote. Simple सी बात है. Differential voting right is very I would say tricky. It says that if you have five shares but three votes, or three shares, five votes. Got it? And without voting right, one share is equal to zero. उसमें मुझे को समझाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, आप जानते हैं. So in exam, this part is very important. They can ask procedure to issue differential voting right equity shares. ठीक है? और रिमाइंड में बच्चा उसको मैं अभी नहीं करवा रहा हूँ, बाद में करवाऊंगा. पहले हम आगे से शुरू करते हैं. Am I clear? चलो. So let's read, guys, section 43. 43 is the kinds of share capital I have explained. अरे है ना? Preference and equity. बोलो भाई. तो इसमें कुछ काम का नहीं है. Nature of shares and debenture. So guys, what company says the shares and debentures or other interest of any member in a company shall be a movable property or the transferable. So अरे भाई बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. So guys, 43 not important for an exam. Do you really think that at this stage I will ask you explain what is equity share and what is preference share? But अगर जिस दिन ये क्वेश्चन आई ना छोड़ो, मुझे कुछ नहीं कहना उसमें. ठीक है. 44, it will be movable property, means you can sell it at any point of time. So shares and stocks can be shared, debentures can also be sold. Numbering of shares, अब ये काफी इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट है. एवरी शेयर मस्ट बी यूनिकली नंबर्ड. करेंसी नोट देखिए, 2000 rupees note, have you seen? Does it contain any number or it doesn't contain any number? What if, guys, the 2000 rupees note has the two same numbers? What does it indicate? Simple, Ray, one of them is fake. So just like as you see, if it is a paper currency, numbers are compulsory. But what if I deposit this money to my bank account then? Do I need to maintain the currency series number? No. So as soon as the cash money gets converted to electronic form, no need to maintain number. Why this question is important? Today if I ask you that which kinds of shares required to maintain numbers compulsorily, so paper formed, which are not in demat form. Demat form is nothing but electronic form. So over there just the quantity matters, numbers don't matter. But as soon as like paper forms, like manual shares are concerned, it is compulsory for the company to issue the series of numbers. For example, you hold 5,000, you hold 5,000, you hold 5,000. But in the share certificate, it will be reflected like this: 1 to 5,000, 5,000 1 to 10,000, 10,000 1 to 15,000. So each and every share must have to have the unique number, and that must have to be mentioned on the share certificate. Make sense? Again, guys, I would say 45, not important for your exam. Okay? Share capital shall be distinguished by its distinctive number. So I don't want to waste my time on this. Come down to, I would say, 46 here. Students, 46 talks about share certificate. Write down question number one. Question number one. What are the important questions regarding section 46? Again, guys, put it 2 stars. उतना ज़्यादा भाव देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. The reason is, so far the exam is concerned, नहीं पूछा गया. लिखो वहाँ पे. Signatures on share certificate by signature on share certificate. Second, time limit. Second, procedure to issue duplicate share certificate. Procedure to issue duplicate certificate. All right. So guys, these many points are there. I don't want to go much in detail. सीधे सी बात है बच्चों. Share certificate should be signed under the common seal if you have. If you do not have, it's optional. Now you know. Either by 2 directors, but if the company has appointed company secretary, then 1 director, 1 CS mandatory. वो लिखा ही हुआ है. मुझे कुछ बताने की आवश्यकता नहीं. What is the time? Time limit is given over here. Within 30 days, you have to. Just a second. एक काम करो बेटा, इसमें मैं नहीं जाना चाहता, आप खुद उसको ढूंढ लेना टाइम लिमिट कितना होगा. ठीक है, जो छोटी मोटी बातें हैं, आई डोंट वांट टू वेस्ट माय टाइम, आई हैव लॉट अदर्स टू डिस्कस. Then come down to duplicate. Guys, if a company wants to issue the duplicate share certificate because the shareholder is saying that his original one is destroyed or stolen, law has prescribed that you will not issue until and unless you have taken the precautions. Ask evidences of the destruction. If it is not available but it's stolen, ask the person to load FIR in police station, give us the copy of the FIR, and then we will issue. And get the person signed the indemnity bond. What do you mean by indemnity bond? That right now I am issuing the duplicate share certificate, but if this causes any liability, company will not be liable, you will be liable. So guys, any contract where you are holding or making others to bear the losses caused because of some event, then these kinds of contracts are known as what? Indemnity. Okay? Indemnity bond is clear. Another point is, if the company is issuing such a duplicate share certificate under defraud, then which section will be? और वो क्या है आप सभी से जानते हो. Clear? Guys, let's come to now 47. Section 47. Just a second. 47 तो ठीक है, उसके साथ आप एक सेकंड रुको, ये यहाँ पे 46 7 के बाद ठीक है 106 या वो कुछ है, देखते हैं उसको. एक सेकंड रुको. Just a second. Exactly over here. 106 only. नहीं नहीं. एक सेकंड रुकना. ठीक है, I'm forgetting that section number, कोई बात नहीं, आगे बढ़ते हैं. So here 47, you come to the point here. 47 focuses on two important aspects here. Voting right of the shareholders. So there are some rules I want to tell you. First of all, your voting rights will be in proportionate to your share capital what you are holding, subject to the provisions of the general meeting also. तो ये बेसिक बात है, यहाँ पे कोई ट्विस्ट नहीं है. 47 को आप है ना 3 स्टार दे दो. 47 को आप 3 स्टार दे दो. चलो बेटा आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ. The company, there's a company named ABC Limited. Question ले लेते हैं यहाँ पे. Question. It is a company, and this company wants to appoint director. General meeting is called up, and equity shareholders were called to vote on that. Who were called? Tell me. Equity shares. Preference shareholders said they also want to vote in that. Preference shareholder demanded. Preference shareholder also demanded to vote, but company denied. They said that only equity shareholders do have the voting rights in the company's general meeting. You don't have. You're most welcome. You're invited. Just sit, have the food, and go home then. By referring to the relevant provisions of the Companies Act, explain whether preference shareholders do enjoy voting rights in the company. Is the question clear? What do you think, like, according to your study or whatever experience you have done so far, I think it is almost, if I'm not wrong, 4th year into commerce. Do they have voting rights? Are the members of the company? Preference shareholders are the members of company. What is the legal status of the preference shareholders? Just a piece of decoration, right? They have, I would say, contributed towards the company's capital. How pitiful it is, guys. They are capital holders and they are not giving them voting rights. स्कूल में टीचर ने यही सिखाया होगा, इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर वोट कर सकते हैं, प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर नहीं कर सकते. गलत पढ़ाया था. चलो, आई डोंट वांट टू गो. 47 क्या कहता है? 47 says that as far as the equity shareholders are concerned, they can vote on every matter. Vote on every matter. But one thing I want to add, whenever they are invited, listen to my words, whenever they are invited. But if I talk about the preference shareholders, obviously they can vote, but not on every matter. But the matters in which they are interested, or rather I would say their rights are getting affected, their liabilities are getting affected. Not one, I'm talking as a common group, all united together, not about the individual. For example, appointment of the auditor, appointment of the worst auditor will affect their interest also or not. Company wants to decide about the amalgamation. Company wants to decide about the winding up. Company wants to decide about the appointment of the director. Guys, these all are the matters. Declaration of dividend. These all are the matters in which they are also interested. Why? If the company goes for winding up, their money is also get lost. Possible or not? However, it is difficult to know that which is affecting them and which is not. But law ने इतना कहा, they can vote in every matter in which they are interested. However, guys, if dividend is not paid to such preference shareholders since last consistent 2 years. How many years, बच्चा? बड़े सारे MCQs में आ सकता है. 2 years. Then the next note is very important. The law says that third year onwards, come on guys, third year onwards, they can vote on every matter. Third year onwards, they can vote in every matter until that payment is paid. But am I clear to all of you? Yes or no? So again, guys, now please answer the question: shareholders are members of the company or not? Of course, yes, they are. Preference shareholders are members of the company. Second is, do they have voting rights? According to section 447, answer is absolutely yes, they do have. But they don't have the voting rights like the equity shareholders. Equity shareholders can vote for all the matters, every matter. Preference shareholders only the matter in which they are interested. But if the dividend is not paid for the consistent how many years? Come on, guys. If the dividend in respect of a class of the preference shares has not been paid for a period of 2 years or more, such class of the preference shareholders shall have a right to vote on all the resolutions placed before the company. Make sense or not? बोलो. ठीक है. तो गाइज अब देखो ये शायद आपको पता चल गया होगा कि they just the saying that they don't have voting rights at all, ये कोई सेंस नहीं बनता. They're capital contributors and not like a debenture holders. ठीक है. Make sense? चलो. I'm shifting towards the under the section 48. इसको स्टार दे दिया आपने? Stars, 3 stars दिए ना आपने? Good. Variation of just a second. ये क्या? बेटा इसको 0 स्टार कर दो. अभी तक नहीं आया. 0 मतलब कुछ नहीं देना उसको. ठीक है. It's fine. Allowed. Allowed. फ्री थोड़ी हुआ. आपको वोटिंग राइट मिलेगा ना. आपको आपको फिर इक्विटी के जैसे ट्रीट किया जाएगा. तो इक्विटी में भी कहाँ वोटिंग कंपलसरी होता है. देख क्या है? जब भी डिविडेंड इश्यू होगा पहला प्रेफरेंस किसको मिलेगा. देखो जब डिविडेंड नहीं पे किया जा रहा तो सिर्फ आपको नहीं इक्विटी वालों को भी नहीं मिल रहा है. क्योंकि अगर मिल रहा है तो आपका पहला प्रेफरेंस है. आप पहले इक्विटी को देके बाद में प्रेफरेंस को दो तो फिर आप प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर कहाँ से हुए. तो पहले आपको प्रेफरेंस को देना पड़ेगा. हाँ चाहे फिक्स हो कुछ भी हो. हाँ ठीक है. हाँ तो उनका फायदा क्या है ये शायद आप पूछ रहे हो. मार्केट फ्लक्चुएशन जो प्राइस में हो रही है उससे वो कैपिटल प्रॉफिट कमा सकते हैं, कैपिटल गेन कमा सकते हैं. और तुझे एक बात बता, आज अगर कंपनी 10% डिविडेंड इश्यू करती है, आई एम गिविंग यू वन सम, आर यू रेडी फॉर दैट. सपोज कंपनी हैज इश्यूड 10% डिविडेंड. पर शेयर you paid 1000 rupees. 10 rupees face value, 990 is premium. Calculate amount of dividend per share. What is the rate of dividend here? My question, 10%. And you paid per share how much? 1000. 10 is what? Face and 990 is what? Calculate करो तो आपका dividend कितना होगा. How much dividend? अरे simple सी बात है भाई. 1000 into 10% comes to how much? So per share you will get how much? 100. You have 1000 shares. कितना रुपया मिलेगा आपको? 1 लाख. ऐसा नहीं है बेटा, वो फेस वैल्यू पे होता है. तो 10 रुपीज इंटू 10% मिलता है 1 रुपया. 10% प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स, 20% प्रेफरेंस शेयर, क्या मिल रहा है आपको? प्रीमियम तो आप कितना पे किए होंगे? तो रियली डू यू थिंक द पीपल आर इन्वेस्टिंग फॉर द डिविडेंड? आई हैव सीन इन्फोसिस ने एक बंदे को 2 रुपए का चेक भेजा था, 2 रुपए का चेक, बट फाइन, इट्स द ड्यूटी. 2 rupees check, only 2 rupees check, but it is still the part of duty. What I meant to say is, people's main motivation to invest in the company is not dividend. It is actually that big game. 700 rupees price goes to 800, 100 rupees profit in a day. For that, they are investing. So dividend, I don't think so that they are taking that much seriously. No matter it is important, but ठीक है यार. Okay, shall I go ahead with this? So I hope guys 47 is clear in everyone's mind. Now the point is, what is the variation of the shareholders' right? Whatever members' rights are there, you can change it. You can what? Change it. For example, 10% preference shareholders are there. If they want that, I want to increase the rights or decrease the rights. Law doesn't say which rights. Depends upon the contract. Are you getting me? Earlier, the rate of dividends were 10%. I want to increase to 12% now. So it is said that whatever class is there, you have to pass what? Special resolution. What is special resolution? You know that very well. इसके आगे मुझे नहीं जाना. 48 को कोई स्टार मत दो, नहीं जाना. 49 calls on the share same class to be made on the uniform basis. Again guys, you know very well. Assume my dear students, I have 10 rupees face value, 5 is paid up. What is the unpaid, uncalled up amount? I have, I would say 10 lakh shares. And when I'm demanding my remaining 5, can I be biased like this? Can I be biased like this? That I'm demanding 3 rupees from half of the people and 2 rupees from the remaining people? Section 49 clearly says that whenever you're making the call for one particular class, it should be uniform. If I belong to the same class, for me it is 5 rupees, for everyone it should be what? 5 rupees. Again guys, don't give any star to it. Look, ये सारे कुछ छोटे मोटे, I would say, provisions हैं. Company to accept unpaid share capital, although not called up. Now what do you mean by this? Calls in advance. देखो बच्चा, उसको आप 2 stars दे दो, अच्छा क्वेश्चन. Section 50 talks about calls in advance. चलिए बच्चा उसके ऊपर जाते हैं. देखो अभी तक जो मैंने पढ़ा है ना, उसमें मेरे को भी फील नहीं आई उतनी ज़्यादा, ठीक है, क्योंकि वो कमेंट्स ज़्यादा है, एक्सेप्ट द वोटिंग राइट्स. ठीक है, यहीं से थोड़ा कुछ चैलेंजिंग आपको लगेगा यहाँ पर. बट बिफोर आई गो टू 50, लेट्स टॉक मी अबाउट द 51. बड़ा 51 का इंटरप्रिटेशन क्या होगा, इवन इफ आई डोंट रीड, बिकॉज हार्डली वन लाइन इज रिटन. पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड इन प्रपोर्शन ऑफ पेड अप कैपिटल. सो अरे भाई, वॉट एवर यू पेड ऑन दैट बेसिस आई विल गिव यू. सीधी सी बात. 50 guys, calls in advance. ठीक है, I'm just putting a question across to you and you have to tell me about this. Company demanded 5 rupees per share. Mr. X is holding around 10 lakh shares. So what is his actual liability on the call? 50 lakhs. But he was so excited, mistakenly he paid 1 CR. So tell me how in accounting you will pass the journal entry. सीधी सी बात है भाई, first 50 lakhs you will credit into the share capital, paid up capital. So bank account debit to share capital and remaining, क्या बात है, calls in advance. So in fact I am trying to say that one account will be created in your accounting ledgers, calls in advance for rupees 50 lakhs. Yes or no? But मेरा account का तो कोई question हो नहीं सकता. I am the law faculty, right? For the remaining 5 rupees, next time company decides 5 rupees plus 3.5 premium. Got it? So guys, per share, the company has decided to go for what? 8.5. So as Mr. X is holding 10 lakhs, so his total liability demanded by company was 85 lakhs. And Mr. X is sorry, I'm not under obligation to pay 85 lakhs because I already paid the complete face value. But you demanded 5, but I paid 10 at that point of time, let's say 2 years back. So by I have already paid my complete face value, so why are you demanding again? By referring to the section 50 of the Companies Act 2013, explain whether this argument of Mr. X is valid or not valid. What do you think? Valid or not valid? The answer to this question is not valid. Why? Capital demanded capital demanded was 5 rupees. So I demanded just the 5 rupees. Remaining 5 rupees what you paid, that was voluntary payment. Still the capital is not activated. जब activate ही नहीं हुई तो पे कैसे कर सकते हो? अरे हाँ या ना? Therefore, this 50 lakhs would be considered as not the part of share capital, but it will be considered as loans and advances. I would say short-term loan taken by the company. Are yes or no? So here, for this remaining 50 lakhs, the status of the shareholder will not be shareholder. It will be creditor, unsecured creditor. Do you get my point? अरे हाँ है ना. तो गाइस 50 lakhs यहाँ पे क्या होगा, उसका जो स्टेटस होगा वो होगा अनसिक्योर्ड creditor. It will be unsecured creditor. So what is the treatment over here? I would say 50 lakhs is in paid in advance, 85 lakhs is the total due according to the face value plus premium. So guys, 85 minus already paid 50 will be adjusted. So you have to pay remaining 35 lakhs to the company. And that's nothing but the premium amount. Yes or no? Additional something what is demanded. तो चलो ये एक बेसिक क्वेश्चन हो गया. आई थिंक अकाउंट में कहीं पे पढ़ा होगा आप लोगों ने. बट रियल क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट्स लाइक दिस. Suppose company goes for winding up. इसको पानी दे थोड़ा मुंह पे मार ले भाई. तो बात है कि मेरे को भी करने का जी चाहता है, तो मैं कर नहीं सकता. ठीक है, मजाक कर रहा हूं. Company goes for the winding up. Yes or no? In the winding up, guys, you see 5 rupees already paid up. 5 rupees was unpaid for the others. But Mr. X, what did he do? He already paid 5 rupees. In our example, 10 lakhs multiplied by 5 is equal to 50 lakhs you already paid. Matter got escalated to the tribunal. And tribunal says all these contributories, you know what's the contributories? Who need to pay the uncalled up amount at the time of winding up. All those who have not paid, please pay it. So one notice also got dispatched to Mr. X also. What Mr. X said, why should I pay? I have already paid. Look at the balance sheet of the company. And it was reflecting over there, yes, 50 lakhs rupees had been received as calls in advance according to section 50. He said, by my lord, when I already paid the 50 lakhs, why I should pay 50 lakhs again? By referring the section 50, tell me whether X is liable to pay this 50 or not. Logical answer क्या आएगा? अरे भाई has already paid. काश corporate लो इतना आसान होता. Answer to this question is very shocking. He has to pay. अच्छा लॉजिक बता दो इसका. That's what we will write in exam. नहीं नहीं, it's not about corporate law, it's all about the overall attitude and the approach towards the CA course. The way you are reading the other courses, I'm sorry, I want to warn you. And that is one of the reasons why some students are getting 80 out of 100 and some students are getting just 30 out of 80. दोनों ने पूरा लिखा, पेपर तो लिखा ही होगा, बात क्वालिटी की आती है, लॉजिक की आती है. बट आप जानते हो, इफ यू अलाउ ड्यूरिंग वाइंडिंग अप इज अ स्पेशल सिचुएशन और नॉट, it's the special occasion. So law should work normally or it should work specially over there. ठीक है, ये एक लॉजिक हुआ मेरा। दूसरा लॉजिक समझो वहां पे क्या है। दूसरा लॉजिक ये है, during winding up guys there is a payment priorities you must have done in the liquidation chapter of accountancy. Who will be paid for? Secured creditors. After paying secured creditors, pari passu means equal rank to laborers. After then preferential creditors. Preferential creditors, debentures are generally secured, then first category. Unsecured, then even after the preferential creditors. After being preferential creditors, floating charge holder, floating charge, fixed charge, floating charge. After paying a floating charge holder, the next one is unsecured creditors. So once you pay 50 lakhs calls in advance, your rank out of this four is what? First, second, third, or fourth? Secured creditor, preferential creditors, floating charge holder और unsecured creditors. तो guys आपकी payment priority कौन सी यहाँ पे? And if a company adjust your 50 lakhs against the called up amount, can I say you are paid before secured one? Can I say like or not? Technique, अरे यार. Once I say you don't need to pay, you no need to pay. You no need to pay. Don't worry. आपको पे नहीं करना है, कुछ भी पे नहीं करना है. Why? Because your unsecured loan I'm adjusting against what? So can I say, my dear students, there was a liability to pay. आप समझ रहे हो? There was liability to pay as a contributory. Was there liability to pay or not? It is absolute liability. But now company says you no need to pay because you already paid as the calls in advance. So can I say company is not accepting the liability? When guys you are not taking somebody's liability, can I say you are liable to pay, but now you no need to pay? Can I say company paid on your behalf ultimately? So by doing this, have you given unsecured loan holders the better rank over the secured? अरे बोलो, उनकी लायबिलिटी आपने जाने दी यार. आप जो ले सकते थे. This is not allowed during the chapter of liquidation. Let me tell you, it is inconsistent to the winding of rules. So what is real treatment? I am telling you. First of all, you give me 50 lakhs for the share capital liability. Out of the collected money, I will pay first to whom? Secured one. And then there's a ton of preferential creditors. If money is there, floating charge holders. And after paying them off, still the money is remaining, then I will return your loan. After then preference shareholders. After then equity shareholders. After preference shareholders, if something is left, then I will return your equity share capital. Are you getting my point? So guys, it is very serious and very difficult when you are giving 50 lakhs rupees loans or calls in advance to the company first. So beta ऐसी गलती कभी भी मत करना. But am I clear to all of you? Now some more questions is like on such calls in advance, do you deserve to get additional votes? Do you deserve? Let me tell you, बच्चा, calls in advance is not a capital part. It's the part of loan. और loan देने पे votings नहीं मिलते. ये तीन क्वेश्चन समझ में आ जाएगा? Yes or no? Priority, calls in advance is voluntary, and third is what? Votings. इतना समझ में आया? All right. Next one is 52 बेटा. Okay, your real chapter starts from the section 52. ठीक है? आइए अब इसके बारे में शुरू करते हैं जल्दी से. Section 52 is talking about, I would say, securities premium account. बैटरी बची है ना भाई? हेलो. सिक्योरिटीज प्रीमियम अकाउंट. चलो In fact, the title is wrong. It's not about SPA. It's all about the utilization of the SP account. During CA Foundation, you must have been explained that it will be utilized for, writing of preliminary expenses, discount, paying fully paid up bonus shares, buyback of shares, writing of commission or discount issued on any security. ऐसा कुछ पढ़ाया था हम लोगों को? खत्म हो गया 52? अच्छा पढ़ा ही नहीं, समझा नहीं यार। 52 थोड़ी कंट्रोवर्शियल तो है ही। ओके बच्चा, समझते हैं। Section 52 is divided into the three parts, right on? Here, there are three parts. One, this is two, and this is third. 52 subsection 1, 52 subsection 2, and at the end 52 subsection 3. चलिए आपकी नींदें उड़ा दे थोड़े, एग्जाम का क्वेश्चन नहीं लेते। ठीक है, शुरू करें। मेक इट 4 stars, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। कंपनी XYZ Limited falls to comply section 133. Falls to comply what? Falls under compliances of section 133. It has following data in its balance sheet. Got it? So paid up capital, I would say 100 crores. Free reserve, put it 50 crores. Security premium account, somewhere around 25 crores. Other debt is around 50 CR. So total balance sheet of the liability side is 225. Is the data clear? भाई clear हो गया? 225. Free reserve. Free reserve. On the asset side, there are so many contents, but one of the contents is preliminary expenses, which is also known as miscellaneous expenses. Yes or no? Amounting rupees 30 crores. Amounting rupees 30 crores. एक और लिखो यहाँ पे, आपको जो लिखना है पेड अप कैपिटल। इसमें दो बातें ध्यान रखना। मैंने इसे पेड अप कैपिटल 100, उसके दो पार्ट है, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल 50 एंड प्रेफरेंस कितना है बच्चा? 50। इतना ध्यान रखना। इतना डेटा समझ में आ गया आपको? सो दिस 100 इज कैटेगराइज्ड इनटू द टू पार्ट्स। तो इतना लिख लो, धीरे धीरे जाएंगे। आफ्टर दैट इट इज फर्दर मेंशन्ड दैट फ्री रिजर्व, ठीक है, कंपनी वांट्स टू यूज दिस 25 crores special, I would say security premium account for following purpose. Company wants to use this 25 CR to pay, to write off, for the following purpose. Write down guys. 5 crores to issue the bonus shares. Remaining 5 crores. Remaining 5 crores for buyback. 10 crores to pay premium on redemption of preference share. And remaining 5 to write off preliminary expenses. By referring to the section 52 of the Companies Act 2013, explain whether this utilization is allowed or not allowed. Guys, अभी तक ये सवाल नहीं पूछा गया है, लेकिन पूछा गया तो आई वुड से वन ऑफ द टफेस्ट क्वेश्चंस इन द हिस्ट्री मैं मानूंगा उसको। ठीक है, कंप्लीट द डेटा एंड कंप्लीट। शुरू करें? ओके। So now let's understand, guys, how to solve this question. First of all, what is the confusion? Which confusion is nothing but the hints. If you know the provision, it would be easy for you to solve it. Pahla, what is section 133? That's the biggest question. Second, balance sheet data. And the major question is utilization of the security premium for the purposes. So all right, if you want to solve this question, you should have knowledge of these three sections. 52 subsection 1, 52 subsection 2, and 52 subsection 3. In fact, when you come here, click on here. Subsection 1, subsection 2, and subsection 3. That's all. क्या मेरी बात समझ रहे हो? चलिए ज़्यादा ट्विस्ट नहीं डालने, सीधे अपन कहानी पे आएंगे. 52 subsection 1 says that whenever you are receiving the premium, that will be credited into the separate account in the books of accounts known as security premium account. वो आपको पता. It is not actually lawful information but accounting information. Now, this sentence is very important. As far as this SP utilization is concerned, it must have to be as per 52 subsection 2 or 52 subsection 3. Got the point? It should be either as per 52 subsection 2 or it should be as per 52 subsection 3. But what if you are going against the remaining two provisions? If utilized otherwise, then shall be treated as capital reduction. Then shall be treated as what? Capital reduction. ये लिखा हुआ है. So देखो बेटा, whatever presentation I'm putting over here, this is the short summarized way. Why? अगर इसी चीज को पैराग्राफ में पढ़ना हो तो देखो क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे. Whenever you receive it, it shall be credited into the separate account known as what? Securities premium account, as it is mentioned over here. Further, it is mentioned that I would say if it is used except as mentioned over here, then it would be considered as good as reduction of. I hope you are understanding here. Only if you're using other than this two. Reduction of share capital will apply. So what do you mean by this? Let me go in little bit detail here. So before I go, you have to understand capital reduction. Anyone can explain me what is capital reduction? और आपने account में कर दिया इसे, मुझे पता है. Capital reconstruction is done or not done? Capital restructuring or something? नहीं किया? Capital reconstruction करके chapter. Internal reconstruction. हाँ. क्या पढ़ा उसमें आपने? थियरी में क्या पढ़ा आपने? कुछ नहीं. बेटा आप सिर्फ फेस वैल्यू कम नहीं करते, पेड अप भी कम करते हो उसमें. क्या? अच्छा, तो कैपिटल रिडक्शन आता तो है, समवेयर द वर्ड कैपिटल रिडक्शन हैज कम ओवर देयर, राइट? कैन यू एक्सप्लेन मी व्हाई कैपिटल रिडक्शन इज देयर इन ऑल दैट स्टफ? छोड़ो, मुझे उसमें नहीं जाना. इट इज डिफाइंड अंडर सेक्शन 66. ठीक है. So when I speak about section 66 over here, it is nothing but what reduction of share capital. So do you want me to discuss the capital reduction? By the way, I have to discuss that. But once I complete, I will not teach at that point of time. चलेगा? कर दूं? This is Indian balance sheet. You know that. This is Indian balance sheet, as you can check it up over here, which has the two sides, right? This is the liability side, and that one is asset side. Simple question to you is like, tell me the limitation of Indian balance sheet, or rather, I would say Indian accounting system. So one day I had a meeting with my friend who is the chief accountant in Australian company, Be Free Accounting Solutions. This one. Can you see this? Be Free Business Resourcing LLP. So he's working over that. One day he came to me and said that Chirag, nee, I told him that, why how you Australians are doing presentation in financial statement. And then he enlightened me. He said that Chirag, problem एक है India में, that if you are buying, suppose, the land of 50 crore rupees today, after 10 years, if the value is 500 crores, but still in the balance sheet, it is reflecting as how much? 50 crores. Because we depends on the historical cost concept basis. Investments are 1000 crores in the balance sheet, but the market value is just 100. But still in the balance sheet, it is reflecting as how much? No law forces the company to go for the actual valuation. Don't you think it is misleading information to the investors? So if the fixed assets showing that we have 20,000 crore rupees assets, is it possible that valuation wise it may be different? मेरा सीधा सा सवाल है भाई. 1000 crores investment, but when you want to fetch the value, it's possible you can fetch only 100 CR. And auditors are expected, you should go to financial statements and give an opinion whether it is showing the true and fair view or not. मैं बताता हूँ नहीं दिखा रहा, क्योंकि देखो assets में ही कितनी problem है. As being, if I tell you today that draft the accounting standard on this or law on this, आप क्या law pass करोगे? Let's assume that you are the part of accounting standard committee. What you will suggest to Indian government? To pressurize the company so that they can show at least a true presentation. Is this true presentation? Do you really think that historical cost basis is one of the limitations of the balance sheet? क्योंकि होता कुछ और है, दिखाया कुछ और जाता है. मैं बताता हूँ, देखो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में क्या है. I don't know about the other part of the country. In the Australia, what they do is like every year they need to get the valuation report from the engineer. Valuation report. According to that, you have to debit or credit the value of the assets. So whatever fluctuation is coming, for that you have to create a temporary account known as the asset fluctuation account. अगर डेबिट होना है, क्रेडिट होना है, उसको वहां पे कर दो. Same concept we have in India also. We credit and debit under the asset revaluation reserve. But unfortunately, it is not compulsory. वहां पे गवर्नमेंट प्रेशर करती है. विदाउट दैट यू कैन नॉट फाइल इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया. यहाँ पे ये वॉलंटरी है. So understand, if it is a voluntary, what the people can do? They can inflate the prices of the assets at any number. Actual value is 50, but can they inflate to 500 just to cheat the people to get the more investments? So guys, accounting standards should think कि भाई ये बदलना चाहिए. Accounting standard 10, I'm not a good fan of that. अब आपने ये कहा, if there is revaluation, whatever fluctuations are coming, obviously revaluation में अगर बढ़ा है तो ही रिजर्व क्रिएट होगा, वरना गुडविल क्रिएट होगी ना. डाउन तो जनरली कोई करेगा नहीं, गधा एक जो करेगा वो डेप्रिसिएशन में राइट ऑफ कर देगा. तो डाउन नहीं होगा. रिवॉल्यूशन रिजर्व कब आएगा? जब इन्फ्लेट होगा. मेरा एक ही सवाल है बेटा, कंट्रोल क्या है? Did you see any paragraph in accounting standard 10 which mandates that before doing this you have to obtain the valuation certificate? Your accounting chapter in companies that is starting from section 128. ये रहा. एक भी प्रोविजन ऐसा नहीं कहती कि आफ्टर सम इंटरवल companies, at least companies must have to obtain the valuation certificate and accordingly they should adjust the value of the assets and the investments. अगर आप पहले से कर लो ना बेटा तो कोई बेवकूफ नहीं बनेगा. if possible, otherwise chalega, then leave it. Mandatory तो है, but you will lose 0.5. So maximum marks what you will lose is maximum marks what I'm saying 5 to 6 hardly. So still it is possible to score more than 90 without coding sections. I think this is good boost for you. ये नींद से बाहर आ गया भाई. ठीक है, चलो डिस्कशन आगे बढ़ाए. But are you comfortable with this? I know these are the long sessions, but we don't have any option. So are you fine with this? समझ में आ रहा है? क्या बात है, वॉरियर्स. बस भाई पेशेंस रखना और एंड तक मेंटेन रखना, यही रिक्वेस्ट है. कल आपका सीनियर है, उससे बात हुआ रात को 12 बजे, सुबह 6:30 बजे. अभी वो 4th बीकॉम नहीं है, तो रात को 12 बजे फोन किया उसको कि भाई क्या कर रहा है. वो कहता सर सीए फाइनल पढ़ रहा हूँ मैं कहा पागल, 12 बजने को आया, सो जा तू. सुबह 5 साढ़े 5 बजे तेरे को उठना है. उसने वही कहा, नहीं सर स्लीप डेफिशिएंसी है, लेकिन ये भी तो करना है ना. सैटरडे संडे ऑफिस में छुट्टी होगी, सो जाऊंगा. सीए का मतलब ही वॉरियर होता है, आप समझो, योद्धा जो बैलेंस शीट से खेलता है, दिमाग से खेलता है. तो आपने जो बोला ना यूज टू है, नहीं होते तो भी करना पड़ेगा बेटा, क्योंकि कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. चलिए बातें बहुत होगी, आगे बढ़े. सो दिस इज व्हाट फिशिंग, यस और नो. And India doesn't have any mandatory provision which talks about the balance sheet, and not having the specific provisions giving a free hand to the company to manipulate the assets the way they want. The way they want. So assume guys, this is the balance sheet situation. It is showing 1000 crore rupees fixed assets, 1000 crore rupees investment, and 1000 crore rupees other assets. Is it possible or not that this 1000 crore rupees fixed assets, but if you go to the market, it can fetch you only, I would say, 400 crores? 1000 crores investment, because of the pandemic and other problems, it is showing just actual things what you can fetch today is 300 crores. Other assets, there's a lot of bad debts. Out of 1000, you can recover only 700 crores. So guys, actual your valuation is 1400, but still your balance sheet is showing how much? 3000. So ultimately you are losing the faith of the investors. If they know that it is window dressed you understand. Less but you're showing more. ये बज कहाँ रहा है? सीढ़ियों पर. आप में से कोई नहीं गया, जाना चाहिए. अच्छा, यू हैव टू नॉमिनेट योरसेल्फ, आप ऐसे ही जा सकते हो पैसे प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए. कुछ किया कीजिए, लाइफ जैसा लगना चाहिए वैसे. ठीक है भाई. Okay guys, so assume guys the new board of directors, new management comes to the picture and they decide that yeah, this is rubbish. ब्रेक नहीं है रिदम, कुछ नहीं, मैं भी चिल्लाऊंगा. इतने लोगों में माइक क्या करूं. ठीक है, चलो. The point is, this is rubbish because you see the actual is 1400 and actually reflected is the 3000 crores. So they decide that let's correct the position to the reality. So instead of these numbers, they have chosen these numbers. So can I say, my dear students, the asset side they have to decrease by how many? How much amount? If you want to tally the balance sheet, अगर आप यहाँ से 1600 घटा रहे हो, तो वहाँ से भी घटाना पड़ेगा. Because it is loss making. It is loss making unit. You have two options. Either make the balance sheet up to the reality or wind it up. And even High Court and Supreme Court of this country has already said that as far as the company winding up is concerned, if possible, try to save it first. Winding up should be implemented as the last resort. As what? Because winding up of one company means, look, what are the disadvantages? People will lose the employment, government will lose the taxation, society will lose the CSR. It's compulsory, you know that, no? Corporate social responsibility. Country will lose the good economical strength. So death of one company is the death of lot of things. So if possible, by doing hook or crook, change the management, debt restructuring, capital reduction, go for survival. And if nothing is working, then go for the winding up. Try amalgamation also, if possible. Got my point? So here 1600 crores got reduced. तो उस साइड पे तुम क्या reduce करोगे? This is what exactly got taught in the sums of internal reconstruction. You are requesting the creditors. You are requesting the creditors that your total due, I know, suppose 1000 crore is the due and 200 crore rupees is the interest. Forget interest. हम पे नहीं करेंगे. We have to convince them, na? And this 1100 crore rupees debt, huh? Whatever, that is coming. But I'm telling you how the things will happen. देखो आपने ये पास किया होगा जर्नल एंट्री में 1000 crore become what 400. So guys, what you are doing is capital reduction account debit या revaluation account debit to fixed asset account. यही जर्नल एंट्री पास करते हो आप. Here you are, look, creditors are very difficult to convince. You're telling them forget your 200 CR और घर पे जा केस फाइल कर. Who are the best one to convince? Shareholders. And look at the dialogue, huh? पैसे चाहिए, हाँ तो ये कर. Because if you went for the winding up, इतने भी नहीं मिलेंगे, इतने भी नहीं मिलेंगे, ठीक है? They don't have any option because they already paid and no expectation to get back. If company is surviving, some chances to get something in future. But जब जिंदा ही नहीं रहेगी company. So guys, what we do is, if equity share is 1000 crores, we will convince them reduce your paid up component to 500. We will say the preference shareholders that if your component is 1000, keep it up to 700 or 500. ऐसा ही हम करते हैं. We will tell the creditors that convert your debt to equity shares. ऐसे कन्वर्जन के भी सम्स आते होंगे. बड़ा ये होता है पूरा सीन प्रैक्टिकल. नहीं समझे? You are not, look, ज्यादातर सम्स कैसे बनते हैं? First of all, they are reducing what paid up component, and then immediately they are reducing the face value also. In some cases, I don't know whether you observed or not, ऐसा भी हुआ है. Face value is 10, paid up is 10, paid up come to 5, but face value is still 10. So now, still they have right to demand more 5. सीधी सी बात है. ऐसा ऐसा कभी हुआ है? देखो, 10, 10, 10 got reduced to 5. So now face value is 10, but paid up is what? So that means still the company can demand more 5 now. Didn't you question that already 10 was paid, but just because of this journal entry, paid up component got reduced to 5, and again company is demanding 5. So actual paid up component is 15 and not 10. Isn't it violation of the limited liability? ऐसे सम्स देखे या नहीं देखे? 10 को 5 करके फिर से 5 मंगवा के कैश बूस्ट अप कर दिया और कैपिटल भी 10 कर दी. ऐसे सम्स किए हैं आप लोगों ने? वो भी है और ऐसा भी पॉसिबल है. फेस वैल्यू एज इट इज, पेड अप कंपोनेंट तो डिफरेंस आप डिमांड करो लोगों से, वही तो समझना है भाई। अच्छा, आपको क्या लगता है ये लोग पागल है? सेक्शन 66 में कैपिटल रिडक्शन इसलिए दिया गया है आपको? बस इसी मुद्दे पे तो आ रहा हूँ, उसी मुद्दे पे तो आ रहा हूँ। ये पूरा जो डिस्कशन है, चलिए गाइस, आई वांट टू कट इट शॉर्ट, बट यस दिस इज पॉसिबल इफ पेड अप कंपोनेंट गॉट reduced but face value is intact. So gap is what? Company's right to demand. That's all. I know it's a very serious exercise. Isn't it the serious operation? I want to give you the two options. Should it be allowed easily or it should be allowed with great discipline, great strictness? What do you think about this? Without discipline allowed in here, हाँ है ना? Because here shareholders' liability is getting affected, creditors' liability is getting affected, your assets values are getting affected. Difference of the, you know, that revaluation account you are debiting or credited either in the goodwill or capital reserve. यही treatment देते हो आप लोग. अरे whatever different, like difference balance comes in that revaluation account, वो कहाँ पे आप either capital reserve if it's credit but if debit हुआ तो? अच्छा, all the times in all the sums it is coming credit only. That's what you are trying to say. If it is debit, अरे समझो भाई, if it is debit because assets decrease is too high as compared to the liability side reduction, तो डिफरेंस कहाँ आप एडजस्ट करोगे? बेटा वो डाला जाता है गुडविल में. ये चेतन जानता है, आप लोग कैसे नहीं जानते? If assets like debit is more in fluctuation account, debit is more debited, credit is less credited. तो डिफरेंस आया जो डेबिट बैलेंस का, उसको कहाँ दिखाओगे? बैलेंस शीट में एज अ गुडविल विदाउट परचेस. छोड़ो, वो आपने चैप्टर नहीं किया ठीक से, मुझे ऐसा लगता है. Am I clear to all of you? अच्छा, क्रेडिट ज्यादा है तो किस कहाँ पे क्रेडिट करते हो? कैपिटल रिजर्व में. तो ये तो क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए ना, डेबिट आया तो क्या लिखोगे? माइनस कैपिटल रिजर्व. इट शुड बी रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द एसेट. अंडर विच हेड यू विल शो इट? ओनली वन थिंग, इनटेंजिबल एसेट्स यार. और बेस्ट टैग क्या है? गुडविल. लॉस तो नहीं है आपका ये. कैपिटल लॉस थोड़ी लिख पाओगे आप भाई. इसके लिए अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड चाहिए मुझे. लॉ में तो जब मैं था मैं ऐसे ही करता था. ये किस हेड में लेके जाओगे? अब कैपिटल रिजर्व तो असेट साइड में लिखेगा, तो वही तो पॉइंट है यार. या तो एज इट इज रिवैल्यूएशन अकाउंट, रिवैल्यूएशन अकाउंट एज इट इज रख. डेबिट डेबिट बैलेंस ज्यादा है मेरे हिसाब से. वो छोड़, रिवॉल्यूशन अकाउंट में डेबिट बैलेंस ज्यादा है, क्रेडिट का बैलेंस कम हुआ है. अरे भाई, डेबिटेड अमाउंट इज 1000, क्रेडिटेड इज 800, तो 200 का डेबिट बैलेंस आएगा नहीं आएगा? तो वो असेट में ही आएगा ना. कहाँ दिखाएगा तू? इनटेंजिबल में आएगा. हम ट्रीटमेंट देते थे गुडविल में. अब आप बाकी सुनील सर को पूछो, मेरे को नहीं पता, अगर कोई नया अमेंडमेंट आया हो तो. छोड़ो, मुझे लॉ के पार्ट से पढ़ाने दो. भाई जो कंपटीशन चल रहा है वहां पे, गजब है. सो एज सर आपके नाम भूल गए. मयंक, स्पर्श. 5 मिनट में खत्म नहीं होगा भाई, बात ये है. नहीं, शी सिंगिंग गुड, आई एम नॉट सेइंग शी सिंगिंग वेल, आई से. बट अभी वो अच्छा, वी कैन नॉट स्टॉप. तू गा नहीं रहा है क्या? चलिए बेटा, लेट मी कम टू द क्लाइमेक्स नाउ. Guys, here the capital side is getting reduced, but it is very serious. Yes or no? So as we have understood that provisions should be stricter. And that is the reason, guys, it is mentioned that capital reduction must have to be done under the supervision of the tribunal. So until and unless tribunal approves the scheme, you can't go ahead. Otherwise, how would you convince the equity shareholders and creditors that this is genuine scheme? And as the Spurs said, guys, if it is easily allowed, I will bring this scheme every year. You keep on paying, I will keep on wiping off. Okay? Are you getting me? Earlier, I want to tell you in the context of the Companies Act 1956, because the same capital reduction chapter was there at that act also. Over there, instead of tribunal, there was the provision, the authority was High Court of the state. Now, the power of High Court of the state is shifted to tribunal. Let me tell you, Abhi nahi. It is now tribunal, and tribunal's power are as good as like the High Court's power in the past. Do you even know one thing? In the tribunal, if you lost the case, there's appellate tribunal. If you lost the case in appellate tribunal, directly Supreme Court, no High Court. You can bypass the High Court directly. Tribunal, appellate tribunal, National Company Law, appellate. There's a word called appellate. Supreme Court. तो High Court आता ही नहीं बीच में. So tribunal is a special court established to deal with which matters? Company law matters. Company law matters. That's all. ठीक है. Have you understood the capital reduction point? But it is not easy, guys. And tribunal will take care of all the interest of the creditors as well as the shareholders also. They will force the company to back contain the meetings of creditors as well as the shareholders and note their objections. Present those objections to tribunal. Tribunal will, after verifying the objections and the opinions what they have given, suggest further. So until and unless everybody is convinced, this exercise of meeting negotiation will keep on happening. But everything will happen under the observation of tribunal to maintain the fairness of the scheme. Fairness. Nobody should feel that okay, company just cheated on us. That's all. So ultimately, I want to say, so this is how I'm saying this section 626 is over now. आप घर पे जाके एक बार पढ़ लेना उसको पूरी तरीके से. So guys, when I'm saying over here that when you are using the security premium account otherwise than this two, then I'm not saying that you can't do this. You can, but it will be treated as good as capital reduction. And you know, guys, capital reduction requires whose consent? Tribunal. So if you want to utilize security premium account for any other purposes, then these two sections, take the approval of the tribunal first and then go ahead. And if you do without that, it is the clear-cut violation of the section 52 subsection 1. 52 subsection 1. As if you have violated section 66. So whatever punishment and the penalties is there, same as it is applied here. Now look, generally I avoid to teach you penalties and the punishments. The reason is there are a lot of, every section contains the penalty. They may ask a question but not more than 3 marks. तो बेटा आप समझो आपको इतने सारे सेक्शंस की पेनल्टी करके अपने घंटे बर्बाद करने हैं कि बेटर इसको आप किसी टैक्सेशन जैसे सब्जेक्ट में डाइवर्ट कर दो टाइम को. So please, this is the time to learn. If you are sacrificing time here, sacrificing content here, तो वो टाइम आप कहां पे जाके मार्क्स ज्यादा बढ़ा सकते हो जो ज्यादा क्रिटिकल हो. ये स्ट्रैटेजीज होनी चाहिए. 52(1) इज क्लियर. 52(2) की बात करेगा. 52(2) ये कहता है 133 doesn't apply. And 52 subsection 3 says 133 applied and complied. आइए बता देते हैं आपको क्या लिखा है 52 subsection 2. It is written that look at the third. Here. For such class of the companies under section, so this subsection is made for these who are coming under 133, and subsection 2 is the company which is coming other than 133. But guys, here the question comes, what is 133? Guys, 133 is nothing but it provides the power of central government to create and modify accounting standards. So when I say 133 applicable, that means the company is required to comply accounting standards. When I say 133 doesn't apply, then no need to compulsorily go for the accounting standards. Am I clear? So this is about doesn't apply means no accounting standard. But when I speak about 133 applied, that means yes, accounting standards are there. Am I clear? Section 133 actually it is the central government's power to classify which company should follow accounting standard or not. So when I say that 133 is applicable on the company, that means it is the company compulsorily have to go for the accounting standard compliances. 133 doesn't apply means while preparing the financial statements, if you don't follow accounting standards, it's fine. It's fine. Am I clear to all of you? सीधी सी बात है, एक वो होगी जिसमें अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड अप्लाई होगा, जिसमें नहीं होगा, जो नहीं होगा वो 52(2) में आएगा, जिसमें हो रहा है वो 52(3) में आएगा, सीधी सी बात है. ठीक है. तो guys, when 52 subsection to 133 doesn't apply, then SPA account can be utilized for these many purposes. So all these 5 what you learned in I would say during your CA foundation, as it will be applicable. So write down guys, the first one is what? पहला क्या था? Bonus share. To issue the fully paid bonus shares. Second, to write off what? Preliminary expenses. Are yes or no? Third was buyback of shares. Fourth one, just a second, pay the premium on redemption of any security. And last one is to write off discount or commission on any security. I think these 5 points you might have studied while doing this. Yes or no? यही पढ़ा था ना आप लोगों ने. But when I come to 133 here, they have said that securities premium account can be utilized for these reasons. So what is happening over here? Writing of preliminary expenses and to pay the premium on redemption. For these two purposes now, securities premium account cannot be utilized. Whether you comply or you don't comply. But am I clear? So technically guys, when 133 applies, how many utilization options are available? Only 3. You can bonus, buyback, commission. So if I'm telling you if the one accounting standards are applicable to your company, can you use security premium account to pay the premium on redemption? नहीं कर सकते. Can you use security premium account to write off your preliminary expenses? नहीं कर सकते. There is one word written applied and complied. What if it is applied but not complied? तो क्या होगा? देखो applied means you are liable, you are responsible to comply the accounting standards, but somehow you didn't comply. Then law कहते these two are by anyhow striked off. तो वो तो अवेलेबल पहले भी नहीं थे, अभी भी नहीं है. बट अगर आप कंप्लाई नहीं करोगे तो ये तीन भी नहीं मिलेंगे. If you are not complying this, then these three are also not available. Beta, do you understand what I am saying? वो मत पूछ, उसका लॉजिक मैं अभी तक नहीं फिगर कर पाया. होगा कुछ मिसयूज होगा उसका, मे बी. Assume that you are a company, accounting standards are applicable, but you didn't comply. Comply means you didn't prepare your financial statements according to Indian accounting standards. You randomly follow the policies which are against the accounting standards. Then if you want to use your security premium account for these three, not allowed. So these three can be utilized only if you have complied the accounting standards. Otherwise not. Now as far as these two are concerned, so whether you apply, whether you comply or do not comply, these two are, they were not available before, they are not available now, they will not be available in future also. Because now these two are prohibited for the accounting standard complying companies. Can be applied to any of these three. Otherwise, these options are also not available. Logic, I'm still figuring it out, but sorry, I won't say that. अगर आपको मिले तो मेरे को बता देना. ठीक है? So guys, this is the entire 52 subsection 1, 52 subsection 2 and 52 subsection 3. मुझे कहना होगा कि अब ये कंप्लीट हो गया है. इट इज कंप्लीटेड नाउ. अब वो प्ले करने वाले हैं. चलिए बच्चे एक और क्वेश्चन ले लें. Shall I go to one more question? This question is related to section 53 now. ठीक है. चलिए क्वेश्चन ले लेते हैं. अच्छा ये नोट कर दिया आप लोगों ने. ठीक से. ठीक है. Go to now, I would say एक क्वेश्चन ले लेते एग्जाम का. एक कंपनी है हमारी स्टूडेंट्स, इन्फोसिस लिमिटेड. 53, right? Infosys Limited, and this company has decided that it wants to issue the shares, but in order to impress the people, it decides to issue the shares at a discount. At discount. Are you getting me? So they want to issue the shares as FPO, but listen to my words. As what? As FPO. What? What is happening? भाई ये लिख रहा हूँ तो आ क्यों नहीं रहा है? Okay, sorry. FPO at what? Discount. Further, company also wants to issue SWAT equity shares. Have you heard about the SWAT equity shares? SWAT equity shares under section 54. But again, with zero consideration from the employees. Zero consideration means nothing but 100% discount. Hai na? So by referring the section 53, explain whether it is valid or not valid. Correct. So what should be the answer to both the questions now? काश इंटर इतना इजी होता है यार. चलिए मेरे कुछ कंसर्न्स है इस एंटायर क्वेश्चन में, आपको बता दूं. यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन काफी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है. सेक्शन 53 it clearly says that no company is allowed to issue the shares at discount. सीधी सी बात है. But this rule has the exception also. However, sweat equity shares can be issued at discount, even with zero consideration. So comparatively, if you see guys, the first में अगर हम बात करें, FPO not allowed, but sweat equity shares allowed. Sweat equity shares allowed. One more exception is there, but एक रीडिंग के लिए है, वो बाद में करवा रहा हूँ जब मैं डायरेक्ट पढ़ूंगा, प्रोविजन पढ़ूंगा, ठीक है? Two questions. What was the motive behind this provision? Logic behind this provision? And second question is, what do you mean by discount? Okay, less than face. कहाँ लिखा है ये? Accounts में. लॉ में अकाउंट्स में कहाँ से आता है? अगर अगर किसी कोर्ट ने जजमेंट दिया होगा या लॉ में लिखा होगा. बट आई वांट टू टेल यू बेटा, इतना टाइम हो गया, मुझे डिस्काउंट का डेफिनेशन नहीं मिला यार लॉ में. आइए ट्राई करते हैं डेफिनेशन सेक्शन में, हो सकता है मेरे से गलती हो गई हो. कंट्रोल एफ, अरे मिल गया तो. वाह, only one word in entire definition section, and that is not as the definition of discount but under the definition of the swap equity shares. चलो चलो, for the sake of better research, में भी कुछ गलती होगी. Let's search in the entire all the sections which contain the word. शुरू करें? हाँ नहीं, देखो भाई मेरी सीधी सी बात है, आई लव टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन, कहाँ लिखा है? Because just you're practicing, it doesn't mean that that answer is correct. Power on board definition, oh definition में है, where? अरे हाँ वो तो मैंने देख लिया. जनरल इंस्ट्रक्शन शेड्यूल 5 180 देखना पड़ेगा मेरे को. नेक्स्ट एंट्री, व्हाट? हाँ, गोइंग टू द 2. अच्छा, प्रीमियम में भी डिस्काउंट वर्ड यूज हुआ, मेरे को नहीं मालूम था. प्रोहिबिशन ऑन इश्यू ऑफ द शेयर्स एट डिस्काउंट, प्रीमियम में कहाँ पे आया था? हाँ, राइटिंग ऑफ कमीशन एंड डिस्काउंट. अरे हाँ यार, तो बेटा आप जानते हो आपके क्लास में मैंने आप ही के सामने, जानते हो, आई वुड से 470 सेक्शंस को स्कैन किया है, जहां पे मुझे डिस्काउंट की डेफिनेशन नहीं मिलती. So at one day even I had a debate with Sunil sir also, तो ये डिस्काउंट आप लाए कहाँ से? And generally obviously every faculty says like this that भाई since ages they are practicing in accounting, तो हमें इनफैक्ट ICI की बुक में भी ट्रीटमेंट वैसे ही दी गई है. बट मेरा अभी भी सवाल है, आई एम वेरी प्रैक्टिकल ओरिएंटेड. If I want to challenge this definition in the code, what reference I will give? Why did you take less than face value? Q. Let me tell you my explanation. My explanation, guys. There is one concept in the corporate governance called the cornering of the shares. Cornering the shares. Do you understand that more shares means the more power center? Assume, guys, I am the new director. Recently, freshly, I have come to the company. Slowly I saw that, but I'm the puppet of the other shareholders. So if I want to be the owner of this company, I have to have the majority of the shares. So every year, what I started doing is like, every year some small quantity I started passing in my name. I am the part of board of directors. Who will deny me? Company secretary will follow my instructions. तो मैंने क्या कहा? This year, transfer 500 shares, issue 500 shares. from company's authorized capital to my name. Next year, 1,000 shares to my name. And what will be, guys, my price? Discount, huh? Price. Then next year, 5,000, and nobody questioned me. And who can know? Because companies, because of me. There was a day, guys, when I had 40% of the shares. Other shareholders couldn't understand that. There was a day when their profit sharing, let's say here, Mr. Sparsh, he had the total voting power in the company 10%. Nothing is changed. But now automatically his profit, his voting share got reduced to 7%. Quantity is not decreased, not increased, but voting share got decreased. So let me tell you, if you are adding more shareholders in the existing ownership, your existing voting right or the control will be diluted or not diluted. That's what exactly happened with him. So his voting shares slowly got migrated towards directors. So they are holding 40% alone, and Mr. Sparsh less by 3%. Is this practice allowed or not allowed? Exactly. One basic question I'm asking you. In the law ministry, just to stop these kinds of mischievous and notorious actions, they have brought up what? 53. I'm not saying the director should not be given the shares. You give, but pay the full amount. Pay the amount like the other shareholders. This is not advantage, this is undue advantage. You're misusing your powers. So that is, according to me, that is what the main intention behind prohibiting discount. अदरवाइज यार आप समझो अपने घर पे लेके जाओगे ये तो ऐसा ही हुआ ना अपने बाप का सॉरी इट इज आवर ओन कंपनी तो जो लैपटॉप घर पे लेके जाओ गाड़ी घर पे लेके जाओ फॉर द पर्सनल यूज शेयर्स भी अपने नाम पे करवा लो ऐसा थोड़ी चलता है यार बट लेट मी टेल यू if I take your definition then look what blunder will happen according to your definition discount means something what is less than face value right now market price of the share is 500 but face value of this share is 10 rupees try to understand this अब देखो मैं क्या कर रहा हूं आई एम वेरी स्मार्ट आई एम टेकिंग शेयर्स टू माय होम जस्ट बाय पेइंग 11 so guys if I was the shareholder I have to pay 500 for this 500 shares 500 into 500 right I have to pay 2.5 lakhs but guys the same quantity I'm taking to my pocket just by paying but if I take your definition that sir it is not issued a discount because the price what he paid it is not less than face value that means it is allowed it is legal do you really think that very much object of the law is getting achieved here law objects are getting achieved here or not achieved तो लॉ का जो इंटेंशन था इस प्रोहिबिशन के पीछे का क्या वो अचीव हो रहा है नहीं अचीव हो रहा so according to me my dear students what should be the discount और डिस्काउंट की अच्छी डेफिनेशन देखो अगर अभी तक मैंने लॉ मिनिस्टर को लिखा नहीं है लेकिन पढ़ाते पढ़ाते हमको ये फील होता है एट वन डे आई वांट टू राइट टू देम दैट ये डिस्काउंट की डेफिनेशन डालो कंफ्यूजन होती है बहुत आपने डाला ही नहीं है इनफैक्ट यू सी 53 ये लिखा है कि इश्यू ऑफ द शेयर से डिस्काउंट इज प्रोहिबिटेड बट व्हाट इज डिस्काउंट नॉट मेंशन आर यू गेटिंग मी व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से हियर so look according to me if I was in the law ministry as the corporate law advisor I would have advised to those IAS officers मैंने कहा देखो भाई डिस्काउंट की main purpose was preventing cornering of the shares and insider trading like activities. Are yes or no? And you know, insider trading is very serious. 10 years maximum imprisonment. Oh God, you know that, right? 10 साल की जेल की सजा है. According to me, the discount is supposed to be What company deserves? What company deserves? But what actually is paid? Difference is what? Okay. So here, what the company deserves, I would like to choose my words. Go with the company's valuation, go for the company's valuation and see what should be the actual price of the share. Tell me, if I tell you today as being the CA into students, how the valuation of share happens. Seriously बात है. Valuation of the total company divided by number of shares. What you are getting is nothing but what? Value per share. अरे हाँ है ना. Valuation of business, how will you count it? Value of assets, market wise, as per the realizable value, minus all the liability, you will get the net assets as per the market value, plus value of goodwill, value of brand, value of reputation is equal to total value of business divided by number of quantity. That's all, you will get the price per share. अरे बोलो भाई, अब goodwill कैसे calculate होगा वो मेरे को मत पूछो. Yes or no? Let's say the value comes 500 rupees. 10 rupees you put separate, remaining 490 is nothing but your premium. So with this I have also explained how to calculate premium. मैंने पूछा नहीं premium calculate कैसे होता है premium practically. So that is based on the, because premium contains the assets of value of assets as well as value of goodwill both. अरे हाँ है ना. Future profit earning capability would be reflected in the premium. अब देखो थोड़ा और सीरियस हो जाता है. I have used one word called the fair market value. Yes or no? Guys, again I want to tell you, because at one day I was teaching, one student stood up and said, but sir, why are you using the fair market value? Already we have the stock market value. Or sir, why you need to go for all the calculation? It's simple, open the TV and see what is the script price of this company as on so and so date. But do you really think that market value of the stock is really reliable? Have you ever heard from the experts saying that the price of the stock is overpriced और अंडर प्राइस्ड? सुना होगा कहीं ना कहीं. तो गाइस ये ओवर प्राइस, बट अदानी एंटरप्राइज लिमिटेड का स्टॉक ओवर प्राइस था. आई अग्री. तो मतलब क्या हुआ? इट डिजर्व 1700 बट इन द मार्केट इट इज 3300. Very much overpriced. It is exactly like these tomatoes deserve to get 30 rupees per kg, but there was a day when we bought for 150 rupees per kg also. Overpriced. So market value in the stock exchange is getting decided by demand and supply, not as per the actual parameters. And guys, people are crazy. उनका जहां पे ट्रेंड चला जाए वैल्यू बढ़ जाती है. अरे हाँ है ना. हम तो पागल है ना. बीच में पता है वो फिजेट वो आया था, कितनी डिमांड बढ़ गई थी उसकी, पता है आज कहाँ है वो? स्पिनर आया था, पता है ना आप लोगों को? Bitcoin. Tell me what is Bitcoin, guys? In fact, when you see share, at the end, the share represents the assets. So when the company go for winding up, at least we can get with some part of the assets. Bitcoin, one Bitcoin, 20 lakh rupees. You have it. But that 20 lakh rupees per Bitcoin you are paying, like in Bitcoin actually consisted of what? Rights, liability, assets. किससे बना? But the answer is very shocking. Nothing. Do you want to understand the philosophy of Bitcoin? I'm closing my hand and just asking you, sir, how much you will pay for this? Whatever inside, he says, sir, 2 rupees. You say, sir, 20, 200. Oh, and people say, wow, it's a good game. Let us participate. And now you will say, sir, 1,000, 2,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10 lakhs, 25 lakhs. But at the end, लिख लो मेरी बात बेटा. I don't know the years. जब बिटकॉइन गिरेगा ना, तो नदी के ऊपर आर्मी खड़ी करनी होगी, न जाने कितने सुसाइड कर लेंगे भाई, क्योंकि अंत में कुछ भी नहीं है सिवाय शून्य. Sorry, I hope you're comfortable with my language. So that's what I'm trying to say. Actual, why I'm saying like this, overpriced. there is a comparison, market value versus fair market value. So market value is getting driven by what? The market forces, demand, and demand is uncontrollable because it can be manipulated also. Arey bolo bhai. Supply can be manipulated also. Arey yes or no? But something what you can't manipulate is your position, the space in the hearts of the people, right? So guys, have you understood fair market value is the market value we derived out of the statistical calculations, and market value is something what random demand and supply. बस ऐसे ही होता है. अरे अभी बहुत दिनों पहले गाना आया था, मैंने फोर्थ वीक में बोला था गंगनम स्टाइल करके गाना आया था. इट्स अ गंगनम स्टाइल, वो पता है उनको? कोरियन थे. मैं अब तक तो चाइनीज समझ रहा था, पर किसी ने बोला इट्स अ कोरियन सॉन्ग. He just in one interview said that I am the son of the chairman of so and so company. क्या बोल दिया सिर्फ? I am the son of the chairman of so and so company. अब लोगों को ये लगा कि भाई इसका बेटा इतना फेमस है तो कंपनी भी अच्छी होगी, and people started buying the shares. 100 rupees shares went to 800 rupees. कोई सेंस बनता है इस बात का? Assets are same, no new projects, nothing like normal company. इनको इतना ओवर प्रेस करने की क्या आवश्यकता है? But unnecessary demand. Do you get my point? And therefore, my students, just after a few couple of weeks, the share price fallen down. और बेटा लोगों ने भर भर के आंसुओं से रोए हो. Okay, have you understood the concept of fair market value versus market value? I'm sorry, it was something what is not belong to the law, but I had to explain this before understanding this. So according to me, guys, what should be the discount? Fair market value minus actual consideration. Whatever difference is that, it should be treated as what? वो discount होना चाहिए. So according to my calculation, the company deserves 250, but you are just paying 50 rupees. So guys, over here 200 is supposed to be what? But guys, while share issue आप ये नहीं ले सकते. Less than face value automatically gets counted over here. But even after that, you can't issue for the share capital less than fair market value. And do you know what? How did I know about this? आइए बताता हूँ. While you study section 54, which is the part of your syllabus, very much. अब आ जाइए यहाँ पे शेयर कैपिटल में 54 कहाँ गया? This is the 54. अरे हाँ है ना? While you study, guys, the rules of 54, let me tell you here. As may be prescribed, these are the rules of the 54. Rules and act is the different thing. You know that? Act means something what is passed by the parliament. Rules means something what is notified by the central government. So guys, if this is the rule 8, not the section 8. समझ में आ रहा है बात? So let me tell you guys, यहाँ पे नहीं, एक सेकंड रुको. एक सेकंड ना रुको बेटा. हाँ, क्या लिखा है बच्चे यहाँ पे बताओ? The sweat equity shares to be issued shall be first needs to be by the registered value, not like a random value. अच्छा, ये sweat equity share में evaluation का concept क्यों आया? Because it is only the option which can be issued at discount. So the shareholders must know, shareholders must know that what is the registration value and what is actually you taken. So they can understand that how much favor happened. Or favor is nothing but the discount. बेटा समझ में आ रही है बात है? ठीक है. हाँ इस तरह. हाँ कोई नहीं. Okay. So did you understand what is my logic against it? Yes or no? उससे भी नहीं, उससे भी एक और पॉइंट आपको बताता हूँ. It is saying कि while you are issuing the special resolution, वहाँ पे आपको देना पड़ेगा explanatory statement. Hold on. Ha. So the explanatory statement to be annexed, which contains the following details. Shh. Which contain what? The date of the board meeting, the reasons of justification for the issue. वो ठीक है. Class of the shares, class of the shares of the sweat equity shares. वो ठीक है. Names directors वो भी ठीक है. हाँ अब ये देखो क्या लिखा है, कितना आप कंसिडरेशन ले रहे हो, और अब क्या लिखा है, price means the value and then consideration. So what price is? Price is 250, but you're receiving 100. So 150 automatically should be counted as what? Are you getting my point? Price is unique for everyone ना. So price is 250, but you're receiving 150. So difference जो आएगा वो डिस्काउंट में चला जाएगा. तो ये सब क्या इंडिकेट करता है? In the sweat equity shares, again and again they are saying price consideration, valuation is compulsory. तो if you see all these circumstantial evidences, इससे एक ही बात साबित होती है, the intention of the law for the discount is just not less than face value. अरे yes or no? It is less than fair market value, guys. But I guess it may create some practical difficulty to solve the accounting sum. So I don't know. This is how the ICI might have taken that. But my view on this is totally different. मेरा डिस्काउंट समझ में आया, बस पूरी 53 में इतना ही समझ रहा था आप लोगों को, एक ऐसा डिस्कशन समझ में आया. हाँ, one more exception is there what I want to just bring in front of you. Come to here section 53. So there are two exceptions what I say. The first one is what? I would say except 54. So 54 is the only section what can be issued under the discount, and no other one can issue go for the discount. All right. In fact, you see, did you see that if this is a company, if I just hover my mouse over there, it giving the actual lawful meaning. Officer is in default section 54 क्या, if I click on this क्या आ गया. But guys, if I click on, just hover my mouse at discount, कुछ नहीं आ रहा है. यहाँ पे कुछ लिखा है लेकिन कुछ नहीं आ रहा है. What does it prove? डिस्काउंट डिफाइन ही नहीं है मेरे भाई. जब डिफाइन ही लॉ में नहीं है तो आप अपने हिसाब से मीनिंग्स कैसे ले सकते हो? इसीलिए सवाल बेहद इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, कहां लिखा है, किसने ऐसा कहा. अब किसी अकाउंटिंग, देखो मैं किसी को ब्लेम नहीं करना चाहता, किसी ने पहली बार सम सॉल्व करते टाइम भी एज्यूम कर दिया होगा. अब वहां पे छोड़ो, आईसीआई खुद उसे भेड़ चाल की तरफ कॉपी कर रही है भाई. इससे बड़ी दुख बात क्या होगी? ये मेरा मानना है, ये मेरा मानना है. स्टूडेंट्स, एम आई क्लियर? छोड़ो, बहुत कुछ बोलना है लेकिन नहीं बोल सकता, काबू में रहेंगे. And the second is guys like under the debt restructuring. Under what? देखो क्या लिखा है. Notwithstanding anything contained under subsection 1 and 2, company may issue the shares at discount to its creditors when the debt is converted into the shares. Debt is converted pursuant of the statutory resolution plan or the debt restructuring scheme in accordance with any guidelines or the directions given by RBI. Now what you are trying to say, suppose my company is going through the losses and creditors are demanding money. So my proposal was, sir, please forget your money now. I will give you the high class shares. The bank demanded shares, good deal, but I will not pay the market value. I will not pay the fair market value. I will pay less than this. If you agree, let's continue. Otherwise, dissolve the firm, dissolve the company. So guys, it is saying that if you are restructuring your debt and converting the creditors to debt to shares, under the debt restructuring scheme approved by the RBI Act, then if you're issuing a discount, it is not objectionable, it is allowed. Am I clear to all of you? So there are two exceptions, sweat equity share and second is this. So this is the end of the session, my dear students. आज हमने बहुत कुछ पढ़ा है, पूरा प्रोस्पेक्टस खत्म कर दिया. उसके बाद ये बात हुई तो एक लंबा बैटिंग हुआ 9 to 5, और 4 घंटे बैठ जाते बेटा 12 आवर्स खत्म हो जाते, बट वो नहीं करना है, आराम से. ठीक है. Just homework is like whatever is getting taught in the classroom. My request is at the same day, if it is possible, try to revise from the material. समझ में आया इतना? हाँ जी, अब बताइए. सॉरी, आई इग्नोर्ड. हाँ. They can't issue. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if it is done, then what will happen? And that is the reason why 53 is there for the prohibition. तो sweat equity shares माना जाएगा. If they do that, it is sweat equity shares. And for sweat equity shares, you have to get the consent of 75% shareholders. That is nothing but a special resolution. It is now. It wasn't before. It wasn't before. And another thing what I want to convey to all the students is like why I do not agree that definition discount means less than face value. So that's what I explained, that what if discount provision is not there, and this is what the situation could be happening, but now it's not. The knowledge is not sufficient. You understand, once you hold the power, after holding the power, knowledge or not knowledge, what makes difference? Better you cut it from the root now. So 53 doesn't allow you to rise up. First to rise and then cut you off. I think that strategy is better. Or cut you off from the beginning, that strategy is better. You think on that. That's what. So 53 is cutting you down. No gifting, no perks, no facilities in the name of discount or zero price. Play fair. Others are paying 250, you also pay 250 and become the shareholders. Who denies? And if you get at the zero price, do it under section 54, bag in front of the shareholders, pass the special resolution, and then you go ahead. ठीक है बच्चा, that's all for the day. Thank you.